Hello, and welcome to another episode of Movies That Make Us. I'm Jake.
I'm Tracy.
And I'm Val. I want to let you guys know.
Yes.
I'm in the dog den right now,
Okay.
which is my living room. I do not own my living room. The dogs own the living room. My couch doesn't belong to me anymore. It is Rhodey's castle.
Okay.
And he sits atop the castle. He puts all the pillows and then he sits there. I have to clean it out once a week because he takes all the toys in the house to the castle so that none of the other dogs can play with them. But you're going to hear snorts and all those things. It's my carpet pig, Rhodey. The other two dogs are just chilling. So
I was going to say, Val's in the doghouse, it sounds like. I don't know what she did, but no.
Where are the Baja men when you need them?
Well, I mean, it's a fair question. The Baja men. Wow.
You haven't thought of that for a while, have you?
Oh,
I have not.
Deep cut.
I have not. It's a deep cut. It's one of those things where it's like that was forgotten in my brain, and now I'm wondering if if it should have stayed forgotten.
Now it's activated again. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's, there's that theory that if you learn something new, it's got to push something out of your brain to make room for it.
Right.
And so by remembering that, did I just lose a crucial piece of information that I need?
You forgot one of your children's names.
That reminds me, you guys.
I've only got 5 of them, so it's fine. Oh, wait.
Wait a second. No, so today I had a moment.
Yes.
Where Dave and I went to our favorite breakfast place, Eggs in the City. And as we're paying for the bill, Dave's asking this kid, he's like, so are you going to go home and, doing anything today? And he's like, well, and he looks around. I'm like, oh, what's this answer going to be? And he's like, I started watching Twin Peaks. Now this kid's maybe 20, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, and he's like, I'm hooked. And I'm like, yeah, you're on a journey, right? The original Twin Peaks, right?
Right.
So we get in the car and Dave's like, what's Twin Peaks? And all of a sudden my brain was like, blah, 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 blah. And I said, and the creator and Bob Iger, they got into this big fight because, Fincher, he had this whole idea about how he wanted things to end.
Lynch.
And Bob Iger wanted a different thing. And so after season 1, everything started going down the hill. And then season 3, and Dave's just looking at me like, do you know what you did yesterday? I'm like, I have no idea. But Laura Flynn Boyle, just
Yep.
I love it.
we just have those moments where, I can't remember a word on TV like Sports Illustrated. But I can tell you randomly about Twin Peaks, which I don't even care about. That it doesn't, but it was the connection with Fincher and Bob Iger that I didn't know about, and how much he fought to really push this to be on regular network television when it was it was something that should have been on HBO. Right. And so it really kind of changed the way that television series were made.
Makes me think of the Hannibal series.
Yeah.
Because how that got aired on NBC.
Yeah.
Still
probably
blows my mind.
Have if Twin Peaks.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Anyway.
So
that's all right. I'm sitting here thinking Baja Boys who let the dogs out. I thought that was tag team. Nope, that's there it is.
Yeah.
And that's where my brain is going right now.
Back again.
Really bad 90s hip hop.
What do you mean really bad? 90s hip hop is the best.
No. 90s hip hop is great. I'm just saying there was a subgenre of 90s hip hop that was made to make white people very comfortable with it. So it was very mainstream and cookie cutter, vanilla. And I feel like both of those,
Snow's Informer.
Informa. And then you know what was so fun about that is when MTV played the videos and had the lyrics on the bottom, and you're still trying to sing along with it, and you're still like, I don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah. Or I feel that way when I sit and I'm listening to Even Flow and I'm trying to read the lyrics with that. I'm like, I don't believe that these are the lyrics. This is not what Eddie Vedder is singing right now. I don't know what he's singing, but it's not these words.
Eddie Vedder was in the news. Like you don't ever hear from Eddie Vedder.
No.
And then all of a sudden he just decided to like come out hard.
Yep.
Yeah. He had some strong feelings.
Is this going to affect your feelings about the Chiefs, Jake? Or you?
No. So here's the thing. I don't necessarily. I don't agree with how the guy presented stuff. I don't agree with what he said. Whatever. Harrison Butker, but he's obviously very religious, and he was delivering a commencement speech at a private Catholic university. Like, I get not agreeing with it, but you can't. Like, I don't think he should be punished for it or anything. Now, people are going to say, well, what about Colin Kaepernick? Listen, I don't think Colin Kaepernick should have been punished for what he did either. I had no problem with what he did. Right. Freedom of speech has to apply to everybody, or it doesn't apply to anybody.
Well, and like, you've got to go with the consequences. They both had their freedom of speech. There are consequences that come with them. But if you fire someone for speaking their mind, that means when you decide to do something later, now you can be fired. Right. So my friend Mike, who is like my brother, his son works for the Chiefs. Okay. He is also not his son that works for the Chiefs. Sorry, did I say his brother? His son works for the Chiefs. He gets a ring every time they win. So he has a handful of rings. And he's from Kansas City. My friend Mike is also a gay man. He does not think that he should be fired because he didn't do anything as representing the Chiefs. He didn't stand up and say, like, I am here representing the Chiefs and here's my opinion. He was at a private function for a religious community school that he was invited to. He is what he's organized into is kind of controversial, but guess what? Go ahead and rile up that conservative side by firing that guy, and then we're all in a whole different
But like I said, everybody should have the right to free speech, or nobody has it. Yeah. And along the lines of what you're saying, Val, there are consequences, and just like he has the right to say what he said, people have every right to be upset about what he said. I mean, he is a public figure.
Somebody fired for their opinion, like
no, and I don't think he should be fired. But I get people being like, "I'm not going to be a Chiefs fan because I don't like him anymore."
That's your prerogative.
Again, the freedom of speech, like that applies, and that you have the freedom to your opinion there, and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I just think it was a lot of like people speaking up that usually don't speak up about controversial things. Did you guys see that Tom Hanks text with his son?
Yes.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Oh my God.
Oh, with the Drake thing.
Yes,
with Drake and Lamar.
Yes.
I've been trying to understand all of it, and this is kind of like the realm that I live in. And then there's other people on the internet like trying to figure out what the heck's going on, and his son like describes it in a way that I could not fathom, but I'm like, okay, I get it. And then Tom Hanks's response to it like is so funny. If you're listening, you need to go look that up because it's just a copy of the text. But then there's I dropped into the comment section. Everybody's like, thank you for telling us what this is all about.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like, I know there's a beef there. I don't know what it's all about either. I need to go read the text or whatever.
Yeah, read the text just because it's funny. But
I've also kind of felt like this just feels like a rabbit hole that I don't have the energy and strength to go down right now. I have enough on my plate with like my real problems that I just can't go down this path with these people right now.
It's just rapper beef, but it's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah. I learned about the TikTok shop, which you guys all knew about.
I only found out about the TikTok shop like a week ago.
Same, Tracy.
Oh.
Okay, so Jake is all about Jake's and Ty.
Well, hold on.
And my daughter.
I don't know that I would put myself in the same category as Ty with anything TikTok related. Just to
We're
be fair to
talking about Ty from Multiplane Podcast.
Yes, good guy.
Yes, but yeah, I mean, TikTok shop. It's an interesting place. I bought one thing from the TikTok shop, so I don't know.
If you're watching or listening, what is like a cool or weird thing that you've ever bought from the TikTok shop? Because I want to know what's over there, because I'm afraid that I'm going to go over there and I'm going to be like, oh.
So there's a lot on there.
Yeah.
The little 3D printed dragons, you can find those on the TikTok shop that are like the little articulated dragons.
I have 2 of those. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the weirdest thing that I've seen, the funniest thing, is this water bottle. This water bottle that hydrates your water. It adds hydrogen into your water because your water doesn't have hydrogen in it, apparently. So you need to add so that your water's more correct.
That's like the first part of the name.
It needs H2O2 or something.
Water is 2/3 hydrogen.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. I don't know how chemistry works, but that's what the H2O means. I'm not a smart man, but I know what water is. But like this lady that was selling it, she was like, look, it hydrates your water. So you can see it lights up blue and it puts all these bubbles in there. And that is adding the hydrogen into your water. And I'm like, well, then it's not water anymore. If you add hydrogen to it,
we're so stupid. I'm sorry. We're idiots. Like what else are we like humans in America? First world white people. Like, don't get mad at me. You all know that we create ridiculous things that nobody needs.
Well, and she chose this to be the hill that she was going to die on TikTok because people were like, you're kind of not very smart. They said it much more less friendly
in a TikTok way.
Yeah, they're like, you're dumb, basically. And she was like, look, I have a college education. I know what water is. And then she had to come back on and say, I mean, my college education isn't in chemistry, it's in psychology, but still,
it's
you don't have to take a chemistry. I did a fine arts degree. I did Bachelor of Arts in history. I didn't have to take a chemistry class. I had to take a science class, but not. So you don't know anything about chemistry. Like, that's just not.
It's like the lady who thought that the hamburger was made out of pig.
What?
Yeah.
There was a whole TikTok thing about a lady who was convinced that hamburger was.
I'm glad I don't spend a lot of time on there. So,
but the best thing that's ever come out of TikTok, though, is this guy. This is the best thing.
Okay.
This guy is going through, and he's going through different news stories. And recently, Pepsi had to recall a bunch of Schweppes zero sugar ginger ale.
Yes.
And he's covering that story. He's like, Pepsi had to recall a bunch of their Schweppes ginger ale. He's like, I'm not sure if that's how you say it. And the best reaction I saw to it was just this lady looking at it saying, well, that's how we're all saying it now. So now whenever I see Schweppes, I think Schweppes because that's how he said it. And I'm like, that is just awesome.
I thought you were going to say it was the German Barbara rhubarb song.
Oh my gosh, that song is amazing.
All right, okay.
I had someone at church. This is my favorite thing. I have listened to that song. I followed that guy on TikTok before that song became popular because he does a lot of German rapping. Okay. And I just think German is built so well for rap. It just is.
Uh-huh.
And someone at church asked me about that. It was like, Jake, I'm just curious because I speak German and they know I speak German.
Right.
What is the German word for rhubarb? I said, it is rhubarb. I said, it is a song about Barbara and her rhubarb and the rhubarb barbarians. And he's like, oh, and he knew I knew exactly why he was asking because I knew he had seen it somewhere and we had a whole conversation, but I love it. Abracadabra. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Oh my heck, Val!
That will open up a whole thing on your algorithm.
Okay, maybe I don't want to.
You're going to be seeing for a while.
I was co-hosting Good Things Utah, right? And one of the segments was we had to go over to the kitchen and make a peanut butter sandwich because a guy on TikTok has like 20 million follows on a video that says you should cut your sandwich in a Y shape. And I was like, all right, so we started to cut it and Gretchen got there first, and it was because the top puts it in a perfect triangle so that you don't get any like thing on your mouth. You have a pointy part, but then you've got these two little wackadoodle like on the sides. And so I cut mine in an X and I said, why wouldn't you do it this way? And they're all like, oh, and I'm like, where's my 20 million followers? And whatever the guy's name was, I'm like, well, you need to call me because we need to get X and Y together. Like everybody has cut little kids sandwiches in the X to give each person like a triangle. What is this Y? Why the Y? And why do people think it's so cool? You get one pointy part and the other two parts are wackadoodle. Like they're not...
You know, I don't think we use the word wackadoodle nearly enough as a society.
No, but we should start using it a lot more.
Schwapipi wackadoodle.
Schwapipi.
Changing my passwords.
I'm disappointed every time I go to the store and they're out of Schwapipis because I want
you to go up to somebody in Harmon's and say, where's the Schwapipi?
Do you carry Schwapipis
I will give you $20 if you do that and record it.
I
will pay for some Schwapipi for you and the fam.
That, like, I would have no problem doing that. I don't know that I would record myself because I don't typically, but like, I think it's going to end one of two ways. They're going to have no idea what I'm talking about and think I'm weird, which they're probably used to. I mean, the Harmons that's close to my house, they see a lot of weirdos. Or they're going to laugh because they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
If I get 5 out of the 20, I'll come film it for you.
I don't care what he does.
Done deal.
Oh, goodness.
And this is how our internet stardom begins.
This is where it all began. This episode is where the Schwapipi money began. Maybe we could get sponsored by Schwapipi.
Pepsi, if you're listening.
Maybe we should have the Schwapipi guy on our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have him mispronounce a whole bunch of movie titles.
He's probably too big time for us at this point because that video went so viral.
Oh my gosh.
My favorite thing about all of this with TikTok and with any of it is these people, like, they go out and they don't know what's going to catch on, right? And so you do it, and then all of a sudden the algorithm picks something to go viral. It goes viral, and you have to now make your TikTok account all about that one video that went viral and try to reproduce that over and over again. And so you get these TikTok accounts that you follow, and you're like, okay, this was funny the first 10 times you did it, but it's really getting old now.
Well, not so much now.
Yeah.
I feel like that explains Furiosa for me.
Oh boy.
Val and I are on the same wavelength with this one. Yeah.
Oh, we are? I thought you totally loved it.
I love Fury Road. I was okay with
Fury.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to give like anything away, and we'll both well, mostly Tracy's going to write something up about it. You can see my review this Friday on Good Things Utah, but for me, it was really, really cool, but not a great movie. There was a lot of really cool things about it, and I'm like, that's really cool. That's really cool. Oh, we're still doing the really cool thing.
And too much CGI.
Okay, we're doing. I didn't care. Whatever CGI that didn't bother me at all.
Well,
it was just that everything
bad CGI moments though.
But you're like a CGI like whisperer.
No, there were a couple like Quantum Mania level CGI.
I didn't notice it. Maybe I didn't notice it, but maybe it was because I was so bored that I didn't care. You know what? I didn't notice any bad CGI. It was too long, or it needed to be 2 movies, or it needed to be like 30 to 40 minutes shorter. Like it was, but there was some, like, I thought Anya Taylor-Joy
Taylor-Joy
did great. I I liked a lot about it. But and I know it's going to do really well.
Yeah.
It was, I don't ever need to see it again.
Yeah. Well,
no. Yeah, all the commercials say it's the best movie of the year, so I just assumed it was really good because the commercials for movies have never
I think
lied.
Garfield's commercial also says that as well. I
Yeah.
also think that pretty much every movie.
I think the Fall Guy was more entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Fall Guy, but again, I don't know that I need to watch that one ever again either.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love movie marketing because I always find that this is the number one, and then they like find some way to make it very specific.
Animated blockbuster of the week.
Yeah, exactly. This is the number one family animated comedy musical romance in America.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got to go see that now.
No, absolutely.
I mean, put me in for that. But there is a movie that's, I think I saw on a recent commercial, is the number one movie of the year so far. No, number one movie in the world right now. It's the number one something, but Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And so we are going to talk more about the Planet of the Apes. We talked about Rise in our last episode, and now we're going to talk about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and the war for the Planet of the Apes. So
I have a lot of thoughts about Kingdom, but we'll get to that another time. But
yeah, that's right, because we want you to keep coming back for more. We're not going to tell you when we're going to release new episodes, but we want you to come back for more.
Thanks for being patient with us.
I got some thoughts on that one, but yeah, let's dive into these.
From what I have gathered, scouring the interwebs like I do, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes seems to be the fan favorite between the three that have come out, not counting Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Middle parts of trilogies typically are.
Mm-hmm.
That is not true. That statement is ridiculous.
Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 was awful.
Yeah, but Empire.
Okay, that's one example. Let me see your I'm gonna see your Empire and raise you Attack of the Clones.
Ooh.
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Okay.
Well,
Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2.
I know. Yeah, but is Toy Story 2 better than 3 and 4?
Toy Story 2 is the best of them, and then 4 and then 3.
I like that Tracy's so confident in that. Like, yes, like that's a fact. It's an established fact. I'm not even going to talk about it.
That When She Loved Me song by Sarah McLachlan, oh my gosh, rip your heart out and put it on a plate. Game over.
Yeah. Well, that's what she does best, though.
Yeah. She's on tour again.
And was she?
Yeah.
Temple of Doom, I don't think is the best.
That's a good one. That's a good Wrath of Khan.
But that's number 2 in a 6-part series. That's not even
still number 2.
Well, yeah, but it's like, if anything in a trilogy, it's the first part of the trilogy because it's 2, 3, and 4, kind of the 3-part, because you've got Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, and then
there's 2 trilogies. Khan and Return Home, or the Voyage Home, or whatever, the whale one.
No, that's the same trilogy.
Yeah, there's 6 originals, right?
Okay.
2 and
4. Dark Knight.
Val's trying to get us back on track here. We're going down a Star Trek.
We're not talking about Apes movies, so.
Okay.
All right.
So the middle part does occasionally end up being the best movie.
Right.
Last Jedi, definitely, of the new trilogy, is the best.
Yes.
So, okay.
I like 2 and 3.
What's that?
One is okay for me, but I really like 2 and I really like 3. There's a lot in 3, like Andy Serkis in that one, and the animation on like the facial animation. There are some scenes where you like when he is upset about like his wife and child in war, his wife and child have been killed, and they have a close up, and his face is just fury and hatred and anger, and then his youngest son Cornelius comes in. Boom, all of that's gone, and it's sadness and regret and relief, and it just grabs his kid, and it's just like, Andy Serkis, man, that dude just needs to be in the Hall of Fame for
I think he definitely saved the movie. I really liked when we had close-ups on those emotional moments, but then when you had the bigger wide scenes, it was kind of mushy, and I don't know, it didn't make me feel like the movie was professional until you were like in just focusing on the individual characters, where I think in the new one those wide shots are just crazy good. In the middle one, the second one, you've got those wide shots, but it is also pretty, I think there's a lot more human elements in 2 than there is in 3.
I agree with that.
Like there's like humans on screen. Do you know what I mean? Like, like you have, it's a little more equal in the amount of humans to apes that are on screen.
But the humans are starting to die out though.
Yes, but I'm just saying like the differences of it. So I don't notice it as much.
I'm going to disagree with you on 2. Like there are moments in 2 with some of those wide shots that are just like, you could frame them and put them up on the wall.
That's what I'm saying. 2 is better than 3 with the wide shots.
Sorry.
Like 3, when you get into those wide shots, it's mushy and a little bit like preschooly for me. But when you get those tight shots, those really emotional moments and the lighting coming in, especially when you go into, is it a mall or something? With what's his name? When you, the one that's the only one that's left in 3, I'm talking about 3, and we meet like the only ape that's left in that area from the zoo.
Bad Ape.
Bad Ape from the zoo. Like, is that a mall? Like that, to me, like that whole area was really cool.
It's like a mansion. There's like a chandelier hanging from the ceiling.
It was like and so I couldn't remember. There was a lot of movies. But like that was really cool. But then when you go outside and you've got the railroad tracks and stuff, that's fine. But then when you get bigger, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like it's not as cool as even in 1. Like there was some really cool spatial elements when you're outside, whether you're in the city or you're in, the forest or whatever. But after seeing 4 and then seeing 2, like when you go to 3, it just doesn't seem as
and I think
spectacular.
3 is much better than 4 to me.
I think really?
Yeah. The kingdom. It was so long. It's so long.
It is a little long, but visually I think it was better. Jake, don't die. Not in the middle of an episode. Wait until we're done.
I'm hoping to hang on.
Maybe we could get some more viewers if you almost died during this.
Did you fake die? Fake die and then
that'll probably get us banned on YouTube, actually.
Just come back, go out of frame and then be like, and come back in. And then we'll be like, oh my gosh, he's fine.
We're so weird.
You guys, I love it. I don't know that I paid enough attention to the wide shots and everything else, and so it's interesting to hear that aspect because I felt like I liked 2 better than 3.
Okay.
And there was just something about the way 2 was put together, the structure of it. Maybe it is because it's the middle part. I don't know. But it was 3 felt a little bit like, okay, we've got to put this final project together and it's like due tomorrow and we haven't finished it all. So let's kind of wrap this script up.
Yeah.
I just didn't connect with some of the human characters as much in the third one as I did in the second one. Like I cared about the guy that finds them originally and his little group that's there. Like I cared about them, and I even cared about the group of people that they ended up fighting. I mean, mainly, obviously, like I feel bad that people are suffering and things like that, and so I can identify with them. I had zero sympathy for the Colonel in the third one.
I think Woody Harrelson did a pretty good job there. Like, I like the fact that he's like a villain, but he's not like, I always like it when you have like motivation for the villain. Like when the villain doesn't think he's the villain. I think that's very interesting to me.
I think most of the time the villain doesn't think he's the villain. I think
yeah, but you can really feel like you can kind of get like it makes sense. Like you don't agree with him, but it's like for an army soldier, I could see him doing what he does.
See, I don't think I got that from his character. I think what I got from his character is this guy is thriving in this moment because it gives him an opportunity to be violent. It gives him an opportunity to have control, and it gives him an opportunity to exercise his power. That's, I think, who he is. And so it's not about saving, like Gary Oldman's character, it was about saving this colony of people, this group of people, even though he was willing to do nefarious stuff to do it. Like he didn't care about killing the apes if it meant saving these people. That was his drive. Woody Harrelson's Colonel character, I felt like his drive was, I want to kill stuff. I want to blow stuff up. I just want to destroy.
I think there's that, but I do think that he really does feel like he's justified in what he's doing in order to stop the spread of the disease.
I felt though like it was kind of like when we went to see oh my gosh, we just went and saw this movie
Civil War.
There were some characters in that movie that I don't think they understood why they were fighting anymore, but because they had been doing it, they felt like they had to keep doing it. Right. So Woody Harrelson's character to me, I think, is very the same as Jake said, because, okay, I'm a colonel and we have to go and still do these things because that's what we're supposed to do. And then you're sending these guys in to kill these apes, but some of them don't even want to be there to do it. They're just doing it because it's war and they have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you find out, you know, that the other side, the apes aren't going to kill them because that's not why they're there. They're just trying to survive as well. You realize that they're both sides are again doing the same thing. They're both trying to fight for their place. And that's what Planet of the Apes, turns into for the second, third, and fourth movie is we're trying to fight for our place and where we belong. And every single side feels like they belong there. And so I honestly think that Woody Harrelson is miscast in this. Really? I think if it was a different person, it could have, I maybe would have felt a little differently about the character. I think Woody Harrelson should have been a character in 2. Because Woody Harrelson really does a good job when he has to ride the sides, when he has that dilemma, right? On which side should I go to? I want to fight for this side, but I also think this side is okay. And I think in 3, maybe they were trying to make him feel that way or look that way, but it didn't come across that way to me.
Yeah. But I agree though. I think the Gary Oldman character is more interesting, but I like 3 and I understand the rationale behind that character.
Yeah. I feel like we came out really strong, possibly against 3, and I'm not. Like, I enjoyed 3 still.
I don't hate 3, but we're trying to talk about which one's better, 2 or 3. There were some parts. So when I watched 1 again, I sat and watched it. I scrolled a little on my phone. That's what you do when you watch movies from home. 2, I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't remember a lot of this. And I really kind of got into it. And then 3, I was like, oh, Woody Harrelson and Gary Oldman, this is going to be great, because I didn't remember a lot of that one either. I think I watched it one time when it came out. And I was probably like, oh, yeah, because I do like Planet of the Apes. But I'm watching it and I was a little underwhelmed, and sometimes I was bored. But then there's those moments, like you said, Tracy, where the CGI of the characters
so good
are just, they pull you in.
Yeah.
Like those scenes, especially when they black everything out around the faces, like the Cornelius face when he comes up into the space and just realizes what's going on, and you just see like there's nobody else exists at that moment.
Right.
And then you go, you know, the camera switches and I'm just like, ugh.
See, I would put 3 above 1. I'd go
yeah,
I would too.
But I respect 1 because it sets up
sure
what we're about to do.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I believe that the characters and what the technical things that they do to make the apes be more loved than humans on the big screen progresses through each movie, which just makes me so excited, because even if the scripts aren't all the way there, you respect the film, because there are things that they do with CGI in these films with these apes and animals that I don't see in anything, like even Marvel movies, right? That I really like. You're just captivated.
I think ILM did it, or was it Weta? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Weta did the last one. I don't know if they did all of them.
3 or 4,
but Weta did 4.
I got to give Matt Reeves a ton of credit for the fact that he dared to kill off the main character.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do we get to the end of a story where it's like that was one of my main problems with Batman Rises is that, or the Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
And I'm like, it's not a very good film, but at the end, when he's like taking the bomb out to the bay, I'm like, Christopher Nolan is going to do it. He is going to kill off. He is going to end this trilogy in the ballsiest way possible. Pardon my French, but and then he cops out. And then with this one, I'm like, I got to give a lot of respect, because like the fact that he did that and that the studio agreed to that just made me really happy, because it ends that trilogy. And I like the fact that now we're picking up this new one.
Yeah.
Well, several generations later, but.
And it keeps that trilogy kind of self-contained, and this really gives us that foundation and builds that world for us that we're going to see going forward in the Planet of the Apes series. And that, you know, what we saw in the original Planet of the Apes, and I know that it's not necessarily canonically the same or whatever, but I think what Matt Reeves does, and I saw this in the Batman too, is he's a very good world builder. He's very good at establishing what his world is going to be like, and you know,
it feels lived in.
It feels lived in, and also like he's setting the stage for what's coming later. Even though he's not at the helm of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but he sets the stage for what we're going to see. You know, in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, we see the apes learning the language, we see them speaking, we see them developing, and we see that happen slowly and over time. And we also see what's happening to the people, this disease that has, this virus that spread, and how it's deadly to people but not to the apes. Like, how did the apes overrun the world? Now we're getting to see how that's happening. And then in the third one, to get the reasons for why people stop communicating, why we're not able to talk to each other anymore, and it's because of this modification of the disease as it evolves, like viruses do. And so it was good to see those kind of establishing what's happening and why, and building that mythos a little bit. And I think Matt Reeves did a really good job in these 2 movies doing that.
The thing I like about him too is like, it's kind of fun. You can see echoes of movies like you look back on the movies he did, and then you see like the Batman. I'll give you the example here of what I'm trying to articulate, not doing well of it. But in 3, when you have the scene at the waterfall and you have the guys, the army guys coming in through the caves, and the soldiers get attacked in the dark, and it's illuminated by the brief shots of the gunfire. That's echoed again in the Batman when Pattinson is taking on all of the gang, the clown guys. And same thing, you get the lights of the gunfire, and you just see these staccato moments of the Batman taking everybody down. And so he has like these little echoes throughout his movies, which is kind of really fun and interesting.
Yeah.
I just went to the Weta website, and there's a Planet of the Apes page.
Okay.
And there is some really, really cool behind the scenes shots, both digitally when they have Andy Serkis hooked up to everything, and then how it goes from him to one rendered version to a higher rendered version. And it looks like they did at least 3 of them, if not all of the 4 from this.
I was going to say it probably
series.
was Weta, because it's very similar to like Gollum, where you get those facial moments that you're just like, I mean, like, oh, Serkis is just so good in stuff. And then like, and it's interesting too, because he's such a good actor as a human, but boy, is he amazing as a CGI character.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they have pictures from like even the first one with James
so they probably did
Franco.
all 4. Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is if you have never seen like kind of how this works, I would definitely go over.
And I got to think, like, it's got to be so weird doing a CGI character now, because they put all these little dots on your face and they have the motion tracking cameras into like, and if you're like a human actor playing against another human actor who's going to be CGI, at least there's somebody there that you can bounce off with and stuff like that. But boy, it's got to be weird to have like a dramatic conversation with somebody that has all the little dots on their face and like having this emotional connection. That's got to be weird.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they get paid a lot, right?
Yeah.
Well, and he kind of created that technology, like with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They were just going to have him be there as a reference point. He was like, work with me here, you know?
Yeah. So. No, and he's like, if you look at, because I've watched some of the videos before for Gollum, and Andy Serkis is just such a physical actor, which you have to be, but you like so crazy. Like he gets down in those crouched positions. There's a picture of him sitting on the table from the first Planet of the Apes movie when you have John Lithgow here, and you have, you know, the ape sitting on the table, Caesar, and it's him sitting on the table looking at John Lithgow, and they're supposed to be having like this tender moment, right? And I mean, so that, like you said, acting in this kind of really kind of ridiculous moment.
Well, and he takes that's the reason I think that the CGI has gone to the next level, because Jake, you were mentioning our favorite Attack of the Clones, and I've read interviews with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, even Natalie Portman, where they're like, we had to act against a tennis ball. Like we have a tennis ball moving, and that's
Ewan McGregor recently did that well, he didn't recently do the interview, but it's been going around where he thought he was so cool having people come to the set with him. What was his family or so? He's like, I'm, you know, in Star Wars, and he said, then they put me on this stupid
little like a hobby horse,
like it's like a hobby horse thing, and he had to like rock himself. And he's like, then I didn't know like if it like turned around or if it was still facing the same direction, so I wasn't sure how to get back on the thing.
But I know that, like, I read an interview with Hayden Christensen. He talked about, because he did Shattered Glass after he did, I think it was episode 2. I think it was Attack of the Clones. But he was like, I had to do a movie where I could do like real acting with real actors, because I was just acting with green screen by myself with the tennis ball, and that's all I could do. So
I think my favorite moment in that interview that you mentioned, Val, is when he's like, and then at the end, they're like, now look up at the suns or the moons or whatever. And he's like, and we're all looking in different spots because nobody knew where the moons were.
Nobody knew. He didn't even know what baby he was delivering to these.
I can't remember if it was Luke or Leia. Oh my gosh. And he kept calling her Aunt Peru.
Yeah, like, Aunt Peru.
It's not the country.
I kind of feel like, and please don't get mad at me, but I feel like the Planet of the Apes story line is very similar to the Jurassic World that they put together, is that almost every movie has the same message, right? And it's just that it's just stated in a different way. We still keep doing the things that ruin the things. Right. You know what I mean? And so Planet of the Apes, I don't feel like any of the storylines are mind-blowing, you know, like writing.
Right.
But it's that thing that makes you feel like this could happen. We really need to think about it. And, you know, especially with 4, so many people went into that movie like, I really want to like the humans this time, but I don't think I'm gonna, you know, and it's because we understand. Sorry, I'm going to get a lot of barking really quick.
The dogs do not agree with her take.
Yeah, the dogs feel
they don't like it. They don't like it. No, and I'm not saying that's bad. Right. I'm just saying, like, if you're going in for some mind-blowing story, it's going to be the same. It's going to be, we are all fighting for the same thing. We all think that this belongs to us.
Right.
When really, who does it belong to? Like,
yeah. Everybody, right? I think
everybody. Yeah, everybody deserves to be here, but we have to work together to be here. Kumbaya, hug a tree, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, and I think along those lines, it is the same kind of message told in different ways. And I think what was interesting for me in the third one is there's moments where, you know, Caesar, who up to this point has been the noble leader of the apes, he has moments in this where he is not very noble, and he is, and like understandably so, right? Like, I mean, his wife and his child got murdered, and I get it. But oftentimes we have these characters that are the noble whatever, and bad stuff happens, and it's like, well, I'm going to soldier on, and I'm still going to do the right thing.
Right.
And Caesar has more depth than that, which I thought is great.
He talks about how once the other apes join him, and before they find Bad Ape, where they find the humans that have gone mute, that have been shot and killed, and he's like, I shouldn't have brought you. Like, this was a mistake. I should be out here by myself, and wants to just like turn them away. You know, so there's several moments like that where I think that there's like some real doubt with Caesar, which is really good. And then, like I said earlier, there's moment like when he sees the Colonel for the first time, and he was like, are you here for your apes? And he's like, I'm here for you. You know, like there's some real passion and fury in that moment.
Yeah.
And he's not just the saintly character. I totally agree with you.
Yep. And it's weird to talk about an ape and talk about his character and his development, but
and it's I like the fact that they're continuing the story with the fourth one. I like the fact that it's not like just a reboot and we're going to just do it. But I didn't feel like that the human actors who were playing the apes were as memorable. I don't think like the Kevin Durand who does the Proximus, he's probably the best of them and the most memorable. But the other apes, I was just kind of like, meh. Like you don't have that emotional attachment to them like you do with Caesar in the fourth one.
It's like when the Bulls won back to back in the 90s, and then Jordan retired and went and played baseball because whatever.
Yeah.
And so then you had the Bulls the next year without Jordan, and like they're still wearing the same uniforms and they look
but they're not
similar to the team the year before, but they weren't the same without Jordan.
That's a good reference.
So I think without Serkis and his abilities and his talent, like it's just everybody pales in comparison.
And I don't think Wes Ball is he had some moments in the fourth one, but he's not as strong of a director as Matt Reeves is.
Yeah, that's the other problem is you've got a different voice in there, and
so I don't know. The 4 was okay, but it's way too long, and I just didn't have that emotional connection with any of the characters that I did with Caesar, and even like Maurice, and even Koba. You know, you're like, okay, like you're a bad ape, but I get where you're coming from. You know, And I kind of got that a little bit with Proximus, but that other main ape, I was just like,
are we getting into 4, Tracy?
Just a little.
Getting into 4?
A little nugget, just a little taste.
You know how it is. We say we're not going to talk about it, and then Tracy talks about it.
I want to be mad, but it's really true.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I like the fact that they're continuing on without rebooting the whole series, because
well, there's just so much you can do with this franchise, and so much you can do, so many stories to tell. And I think you hit a point in a series where you've got to decide, are we going to move on from the original characters or are we not?
Yeah.
And typically moving on from the original characters and trying to build out from that is the right choice if you're going to want to keep moving that forward. You know, I think of, Star Trek The Next Generation as a reboot of Star Trek. It was the right choice not to say we're going to have Kirk and Spock and, to keep moving that forward.
Right.
And then I look at Star Wars that seems to be mired down by the Skywalker family in the 9 movies that have come out. Like, they can't seem to move past that part of the story and those characters. And
like, I was okay with them in Awakens, and I think they kind of should have chopped it there and then given it to the kids and let them
just killed off all the characters, the main characters, just
not
one by one.
Kill off, but
you said chopped. Let me rewind and replay your moment.
That's true. I did say chopped.
Kylo Ren would have been super villain if he was able to take the big 3 out. Just
that may have worked. Movie. I mean, fans would have burned the cities down, but I think it would have been cool.
Would have been interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have. But then again, it wouldn't be a Star Wars movie if the fans didn't burn at least part of the city down because they didn't like it.
True.
But I do have to say though, with Rise of the Planet of the Apes, like when they're storming the wall and the ape jumps up on the flagpole, and then you have all the apes running towards the wall that's being defended by Gary Oldman and his group. Like, that is just such a cool looking shot. That's just like, hang that up on the wall right there. That's just
But
even in 3, the waterfall where you have like the green night lasers coming through. The snow when Caesar gets the water dumped on him and he's like half frozen to death, and Woody Harrelson's character is like chops him down off of the post that he's tied to, and he's like, oh, if he survives, he can work tomorrow like the others. There's just like some moments like that are just really hit you in the gut. Yeah.
And again, there's moments in both.
Yeah.
But I honestly think if you took the good moments in 2 and the good moments in 3, you could have one movie and just not have 2.
Well, I don't know about that, but
yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but
you've left us speechless, Val. We don't know what to say.
I'll tell you what shouldn't be 3 movies. The Strangers. Just saying.
So Tracy saw his new favorite movie this last couple of weeks.
Strangers Chapter 1. First F on TV.
I wanted to joke and say I was going to drop my first F-bomb, but I didn't. The producers in the booth didn't know what I was going to rate it, so I was afraid they'd like freak out. So I didn't say that. Let's save that for our next episode. That'll be a little tease.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give a whole dissertation on my TikTok page, but it was this is why I love this podcast that we do. Like, we're here because a lot of critics are like, what's the snarky line that I can give this review? What's the thing that I can get that's going to get clicks? What's going to get the heat? And like, we celebrate the movies. And I said this on Good Things Utah. I'm like, I want to say this is a good movie, and I will try and find the good in this movie. There was not one thing in The Strangers that I could say was good. Like, none of it. Like filmmaking 101, bad. Like,
oh no.
So yeah, like nothing. Cinematography, acting, script, directing, none of it was good. So
were there any cool shirts in it?
Nope.
Wow.
No, all the clothes were stupid.
All the clothes were stupid and dumb.
Now, if they had gone to the TikTok shop and found some there, that might have been different.
I feel like what I heard you say, Tracy, is that on this show we don't care about getting clicks because we don't think of the snarky lines or we don't care about.
No, we are a celebration of cinema, and we embrace it, and we want you to come in and click on it because we are the nice place on the internet.
We tried one time to talk about a movie that none of us liked, and it did not go well.
That was rough.
That is just not who we are.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's okay when like one of us in the group doesn't like the movie, and then we can have a good conversation, but it is not good when none of us like the movie.
It's not a good mix for us. No.
Anyway, we didn't enjoy doing it, I guess. Maybe it was enjoyable to listen for the 3 people that heard it, but
there were 3 people in the theater when I watched The Strangers, so I feel like it's like a badge of honor now. I can be like, I saw opening night in the theater. So
yeah, I don't know that's just sad for you, I feel like.
But it's like here's when you know, and Val, you can back me on this, you know that it's going to be a bad movie when they don't do a press screening at all. And then they don't even send you a screener link. They send you a code to get you to go to the theater where you redeem the code for the ticket to the movie. Because 1, that counts as attendance. So that goes towards their count as to how many people watch this movie. And 2, if they make it a pain in the butt for you to actually have to leave your house to go to the theater to watch the movie, you probably won't. And therefore you won't give a bad review. And that might mean that more people will actually go see it. So I knew going in it was going to be bad, but I didn't expect what I saw. So next episode.
That's exciting.
So there you go.
If the Razzies, is that still a thing? Do they still give out Razzies?
Up against it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
Just so I can see which one is worse. Yeah.
Okay. Let us know.
Which one did you want to see up against?
Rebel Moon.
Part 2. I had seen part 1, and this is worse than part 1. So I haven't seen part 2 yet. But
don't. There's so many other things you can spend 3 hours doing. So many other things. Like I could list them for you. Like going to the dentist, you get a root canal in that amount of time.
And the
better time spent.
Laughing gas.
Better time spent than watching Rebel Moon 2. Or Rebel Moon 1, for that matter.
Should we grade?
Yes, not Rebel Moon, but let's grade the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. So we'll start with Dawn. I'm going to give this an B+. I can't remember what I did Rise last time, but I'm going to give
we were all in the B's on Rise. No, Dawn. Yeah, Dawn, we were all in the B's. I think I was like a B- on that one, but I'll go A- on Dawn. I'll go a little bit higher than you on that one.
Okay.
I'm a B.
Okay. And then War?
War is a B for me.
Okay, I'll go a little higher. I'll go B+.
B-.
There you go. We all
not too far off.
It's a tier system here.
Yeah.
We all,
I do want to throw this out.
Okay.
Because I would love to
just throw it in the
just get rid of it.
Okay.
Throw it out to listeners, watchers, but also you guys. There's a show that Dave and I are watching right now on Netflix, and we don't talk about series often, but it's called Bodkin, and it's with Will Forte, and he has a podcast, and he goes to Ireland to find a story on his podcast. He does kind of a true crime podcast. And it's really interesting, and we're like on the 4th episode, I think, right now, 4th or 5th, and it's like it's now starting to turn, but I'm liking the sequencing of how they show us the story. Plus I like Will Forte, but
he's an interesting guy. Like he's got a lot there, like not just the silly comedian guy, like he's got a real interesting side to him.
But it's like, how far would you go on your podcast to get the content that you need? And he's the really good guy that's like, oh, we can't do that. Like that's, and then there's this other female character who I just want to punch in the face every episode at least 5 times.
Wow.
The answer for me on how far I would go is not very, I'll be honest. Like, but we're not in the high stakes, high paying game of true crime podcasts. I mean, that's the real deal.
Would you watch a Sharknado movie-thon marathon?
If it was gonna get us a lot of subscribers and like, oh yeah, like I'll do that. I'll dress up as a shark.
I don't think there's anything like unethical about that. Like,
okay, all right.
But if you're gonna like, would you steal money to make this, like, do something dishonest? I'd probably say no.
Okay,
not probably. I would say no.
I'd maybe break into George Lucas's house.
Would you do the German rhubarb song? Would you do the dance?
Yeah, you guys know I would do anything stupid. Like it's not.
Yeah, I would need to
do the dance. I'm not that good at choreography.
Yeah, if I knew it was going to get us somewhere with our numbers, I would do the dance.
Like every dance that I see has like thousands of people watching the dance. So,
well, yeah, but there's also thousands of videos that you don't see.
Sure.
That people aren't watching, that they're doing the dance as well.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Like I've seen them all. I just sit up all night.
That's all I do. Like that is how I spend my free time.
Rhubarb rabbit hole one night and just
I just watch all
Rhubarb Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole is the name of our next album.
Rhubarb Rabbit Hole. Welcome.
We need to make some shirts, sell them, and make some money. Rhubarb Rabbit Hole.
We see that at FanX. We're like, our people.
Yeah. Well, no. If you wear anything that's movies that make us themed, and we're at FanX, we'll be super excited. We
got mugs once. Somebody made us mugs. That was really cool.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was
maybe I'll try and get us some new stickers this year. And if we see, if you come up to us and ask us for a sticker or you're wearing something of ours, we'll have some prizes for you.
I like that.
Yeah. Again, if we're there at FanX, I don't know.
We'll see.
How many of us
we don't know if they even like us.
We don't know. I don't think anyone really knows.
They don't even know who we are anymore. I don't
think. They should.
Yeah. We filled up a room for Spider-Man, dang it.
Well, plus we've got two people that are regularly on local network television. We're a big
I'm not regular. I'm sporadic. She's regular.
I don't even know that I'm regular anymore.
Well, between the two of you, we have one regular person on.
Sounds about right.
It was kind of cool. Nisha gave me a hug the last time she saw me, which I was like,
they're so fun. They're such nice ladies, and the crew is fantastic. Like, I don't know.
I was getting friend requests from some of the crew members on Facebook. I was like, "Oh, that's
fun.
Cool." Yeah.
Nobody wanted to be my friend.
Oh, sorry.
And I did see Val, who has like 1,400 friends on Facebook compared to my 5
friends.
Well, okay, fair enough.
I have 5,000 people that follow me, but do they really care?
Do they? I care.
I know you do.
If you really care about Val, Tracy, or Jake, leave a comment on this video.
The king of the segue.
Even if you don't care, leave a comment.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to care at least enough to leave a comment.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, there's a lot of people out there leaving comments on. They just.
Yeah.
I like.
Don't do that.
Bolo tie ear.
Actually, that's fine. You can comment anything you want because comments will get our video out to more people.
Yeah, that's what
please,
I'm saying.
Like whatever. Even if
just
you don't care about us and you don't like us, like comment that you don't like us. That's fine.
Yeah, we're okay with that.
Well,
don't insult us.
Well,
I mean, I don't want to open the door too wide, but
again, you're not willing to do what it takes to get this show number 1.
Yeah, say whatever you want about me. I don't care. Whatever.
I'm a delicate flower. All right, I'll be honest. I'm a delicate flower. But we'd sure love it if you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hey, we'll even commit to trying to do better to get more content out regularly.
Yeah. And tell us what you bought on the TikTok shop.
Yeah, let us know what your favorite thing on the TikTok shop is that you found.
Do you want to see Tracy do a TikTok dance?
Well,
That's not going to happen. Like, I'll dress up as Rapunzel, but
this video is posted, I'm going to be the first to comment, and I'm going to say, well, first I'm going to say first, because that's what you have to do when you're the first commenter, and then I'm going to say, I want to see Tracy do a TikTok dance. That's what I want.
Val would have to do all the choreography and help me tremendously, because
I mean, we don't need to win awards. You just have to move your body.
You've seen this body and you've seen it try and move, and it's not.
Have I? I've seen you run. That's it. I've never seen you try and dance.
But even like walking, I like trip over stuff. So
you run marathons. What are you talking about?
This guy did the coast to coast Dumbo crippled dive challenge.
Yesterday, I was walking out of my eye appointment in Jordan Landing, and I was on a high because I did so well on Good Things Utah. I thought I was not going to do well. I've got this awesome outfit on. I'm feeling good. I tripped over a pebble that was like this big and ate it on the asphalt in the middle of the parking lot. My phone went down. My glasses went down. My paperwork went down. And I'm just laying there and I'm like, well, the world sure knows how to even you out, right? Like, so I was so fortunate that there was someone there to witness this amazing trip. And he just nonchalantly said, do you need some help, ma'am? And I said, maybe mentally. That's what I said. And he came over and he helped me pick up my papers and stuff. I didn't rip my pants. I didn't break my phone. Like, I looked fine, but I was just like, the universe sure knows how to keep you grounded, literally. Keep you grounded in your day.
Yeah.
So you say you can't walk. I literally, Sammy's like, maybe you should have gone back into the eye doctor and said you need more help.
Like, I don't think you guys fixed it. I seem to still be struggling. Tracy, I don't think you understand. Like, we don't want you to choreograph this. We don't want it to look good.
Yeah.
Like, we want this to get views.
Humiliation views. That's what we want.
That's why you should choreograph it and have me like fumble my way through it. I mean,
I don't think you need help.
I love the Frank Turner "Be More Kind" video because, little changes because he's doing a whole dance routine and these guys are like completely going nuts and he's just lost. So
it's a good one. That's one of my favorite Frank Turner videos. So that album is probably my favorite Frank Turner album.
Good. The new one though is really good. That one in FTHC was really good too. But there's some, like the song Ceasefire on that album. Oh man, that just destroyed me. And he's here in a couple of weeks. So coming on tour.
Well,
there you go.
I think we've said all we have to say.
Have we?
Well,
I think we're delightful. We could keep going.
Well, we could.
Let's save it for our next one.
Okay. But it's like Furiosa, right? Like we've seen all the cool stuff. Do we need to keep seeing the same cool stuff right now?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Someone's going to be like, that last Movies That Make Us episode, it was just, it should have been 30 to 45 minutes shorter.
15-minute episodes.
It's really all we need. All right. Well, thank you all for listening, for watching. We really do appreciate your support. And until next time, we won't see you at the movies.
Is this TikTok? Is this something? Is this something? I don't know.
It's something. It is something.
This has been an Age of Geek media production.